Our company has a history of giving a COLA, which for those who aren't in the alphabet soup world of benefits, is cost of living adjustment. Okay, so our company has a history of giving a cost of living adjustment and no performance based increases. That seems like it fosters mediocre performance. What are your thoughts and how do we fix this? Well,
Sounds like
Summer,
they need to hire us, Joey.
yeah, they need to hire us because this sounds like they answered their own question here as far as it
Right.
incentivizing mediocre performance. I would argue it incentivizes no performance, let alone mediocre. But Summer, what do you think on this topic? Should something change about the way that this organization is looking at performance and raises?
Absolutely. I've worked with companies who have had a blanket increase, and I've seen this play out firsthand that, you'll have those that are just motivated for the company mission. They believe in more than just pay, and they are essentially like self-motivated. But then there's a segment of your team who is going to chase the pay and benefits, and that is the carrot. So when I hear about a company that's doing just a cola, part of me says, well, that's great because it's better than nothing. But we've just spoke about even recently on some of our episodes that, even the average increase, when you take into account inflation, team members are actually making less when you factor all of that in. So I think about those challenges, Joey, and how it would be awfully difficult to retain high performers in a company where they're not feeling like they're necessarily being rewarded for that extra effort
Mhm.
that they believe and that they are putting in. That's a real problem.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you want to be aware of the team members that A, contribute at a higher level, but then B, separately, go above and beyond what is asked of them. Um, and those are the folks that like there's a difference between being highly skilled and highly engaged. And so realizing that you even want to take into account both of those and tie them to increases at the end of the year, because obviously a highly skilled person will be able to produce at a certain level, but that highly engaged person, you definitely want to reward that as well. And so just giving blanket increases across the board, that to me says, we reward you showing up. We don't care what you do or how effective your performance is.
Well, I'm sure over the years, Joey, you've had your fair share of conversations with team members who were either underperforming or maybe just like, those that just kind of fly under the radar, right? Where, the manager isn't totally happy with the level of performance, but they don't really have enough like of something tangible to see that team member out the door just yet. And, we see this in large organizations all of the time. They kind of just get lost in the shuffle. But I think the biggest challenge that I see with having this type of program is, you have that team member who is doing the bare minimum, not enough to lose their job. And you have the team member who is fully engaged, putting in that extra effort, really doing more than their fair share, and they're looking at that person next to them barely getting by and realizing that they were just given the same increase.
Yep.
That's a part that I really struggle with.
And think about, the manager of this team, right? So maybe it's outside of their control because they don't have direct influence in the compensation strategy of the organization, but their hands are kind of tied as like, hey, I want to keep really good people around, but you're making it incredibly hard for me because I can't reward the person who's doing a great job. And so not only does that frustrate the employee who's the recipient, but it also can frustrate the manager who is in need of really great folks to drive their organization forward.
So I think the takeaway from this is that there needs to be some sort of factor in order to drive that performance. And I think for some companies it means, having a pay structure that does reward performance, or perhaps it's, separate from base pay. Maybe it is a bonus structure that rewards performance. And we have a ton of experience building these at a highly complex and even a very simplified level that has, all of them, all of the essential components to help a company build on it and take into account their financial situation. Because I think sometimes companies steer away from more complex plans because they don't necessarily have the experience or knowledge on how to build a sustainable plan. But we've had a lot of success in that area, Joey. And I would say, if you're a small business or people leader and you're thinking, yes, we do something similar, and maybe not recognizing, some of the challenges that it, would present, reach out and let's have that, free 15-minute chat about how we could partner and come up with, some better solutions that will help your company thrive.
Yeah. Yeah, and you said it. We help teams with this all the time, and I think one reason why people or leaders get shy about increases is that they're looking at it from a standpoint of, well, it's just going to be more expensive to operate my business. Well, an investment in your team should be an opportunity for you to grow your business. And so we try to take a look at the full picture. For example, let's just kind of like walk through what that might look like if we're consulting with a firm. And we may say, okay, well, giving out performance-based bonuses, what type of impact do you think that would have on your bottom line? Do you think if you had a 5% investment in your team's performance based salary increase, it could have a 10% increase on your bottom line, a 20% increase on your bottom line, or even top line? You have to understand the levers of your business and how investing in the right places should result in growth in your business. And so it is scary sometimes for a leader of a small business to think about paying more. But listen, it's scary to think about having to replace really good people. It's also scary to think about having people on your team who aren't motivated or incentivized to perform well. And it's scary to work at a place where you don't feel valued, because then, I mean, you're checked out, you're not checked in. And so, yeah, let's have that the free 15-minute consult by reaching over to us at jumpstart-hr.com. And we'd be more than happy to be part therapist, part coach, part consultant, part administrator, to help you get to the goal of riding the ship of your performance management and having a better employee experience for not only your team, but yourself too.